Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including RWBY, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Hayley Neighbors.
Hello.
Sarah Potter.
Hello.
And the grand return of Delaneys Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
To RWBY podcasts, yes, not in general, but it's,
everyone's like, what?
Yeah, it's been like a season and a half and Delaney's back. We'll get into that later. But today we're talking the episode 6 of Volume 7 of RWBY, A Night Off, that aired a few hours ago on Rooster Teeth First, VRV, etc. We talk RWBY every week. It's new here at the Overly Animated Podcast. Find us at overlyanimated.com. Search for us on your favorite podcast app, Overly Animated RWBY, or subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/overlyanimated. Got a big one here. Spoilers for A Night Off and all previous episodes of RWBY. Check out our previous Volume 7 podcast at the aforementioned places. But we'll bring Delaney in after. Let's start with Hayley's take on A Night Off. What'd you think, Hayley?
I think it was clearer in this episode than necessarily other episodes that there are new writers on the staff, because I was like pretty impressed by this episode, actually. I feel like it had some good momentum happening, and the lines weren't just completely incoherent, so that was nice.
They actually talk like
yeah, like normal people to each other. Like, oh,
I was going to say the nice way of saying this is a different style of but
I
yeah.
get a different style.
Dylan,
Sure.
have we ever been like nice about the way we talk?
Haley's right.
Yeah, no, right? I was just watching. It was like, this is good. What's happening? So that was good. I'm just gonna like stop trying to predict when the Bumblebee kiss is gonna happen, because I'm gonna like have an aneurysm and
Yes. Same.
leave it till the finale. We'll just say that. But I do think we made some really good headway Bumblebee wise, which is really fun. Like Ren and Nora had a moment, which I wasn't anticipating, but whatever. I think it went pretty well. Yeah, and I like
they
Rob.
kissed, as far as like
Mhm.
stuff goes, right? That's pretty good.
The moment, yeah.
The moment, exactly.
Haley's just like, I don't care. Where's Bumblebee?
I know, yeah, I was like, okay, but like Bumblebee though. But yeah, but I'm not a huge Ren and Nora shipper, but I like them. They're cute. I keep thinking they're siblings, but whatever.
Hey,
They kind of are.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
But not
it's
anymore.
like Flash and Iris. It's fine.
Yeah. So we're so I think that was good. But yeah, I was generally pretty impressed by this episode.
Nice. Okay.
As a
Hayley's-
standalone episode especially. I think
Yeah.
it was good.
Nice. Okay. Sarah, what'd you think of A Night Off?
I liked it a lot. I liked having time for character moments. I liked all the character moments and stuff. I liked seeing Penny. I liked seeing Penny in general. I loved the little fist bump they had. And obviously there was Tyrion, Dylan, so it was my favorite episode ever.
And
I saw the tail.
I mean, the tail was almost more of a character this episode than Tyrion. Like, there was that moment where RWBY looks over and the tail, like, peeks out, and I'm like, are you serious, Tyrion? Is this really what you're doing? Like, how did no one else see that giant metal stinger besides RWBY? Like, not even Robin up on the stage saw it. He was in the front row.
It's
no
dark.
to him.
It's dark.
No, but it was when the lights were on. It was still when the lights were on that he did it.
There's too many
Yeah.
people. It's fine.
Okay, sure.
Semblances
Detail.
or something.
Details.
Everyone in this episode is really dumb. But everyone is still, like, it's still, like, RWBY fun at the same time, so I can forgive it. Like, I don't really understand how anyone confused Penny for Tyrion. But at the same time, it's just really dumb and I like it.
The
And
plot
obviously
required it, that's how.
What'd you say?
The plot required it.
Well, yes, obviously.
Yeah.
So fine, sure, whatever. And I'm happy seeing more of Wooloo, because Hayley, you're Wooloo and she's great.
Although now I'm dead, so like
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
guess so.
Wooloo's dead. We'll talk about it. Okay.
I think Will was cut in half, so I don't think she's okay.
Aura's, so she's fine.
Yeah,
There you
we'll
go.
see.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
it's fine.
Okay, Sarah also liked it, I guess. That's what I heard Tyrion a lot, so that's what I'm
I mean,
Par for the course.
we're gonna talk. We actually have to talk about Tyrion for once, which is
yeah,
not great.
we'll talk about Tyrion. Okay,
Oh, we also have to talk about how Oscar doesn't have a semblance, apparently.
God, stop it. I was not even going to mention that. Come on, get out of here.
Oscar's not in this episode. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a lot of people that are unimportant in the beginning of the episode. Okay, Delaney is back. It's the middle of Volume 5, and she's caught back up on RWBY. I literally never thought it would happen. Like,
I know it's a miracle.
I genuinely didn't think that. Okay, so
It's all Bumblebee.
Walk us through give us like the 30-second version of your journey back to RWBY, Delaney. And
Okay.
then what'd you think of this episode?
So, important detail, I didn't just restart from Volume 5. I rewatched the entirety of RWBY.
Why would you
Wow.
do that?
Wow.
It was very important because it's been like 9 million years. To be fair, though, when I watched the first episode of Volume 7, I was like, I remember all of this. Volume 5 didn't matter. So I really enjoyed rewatching RWBY, honestly, and I remembered why I love this show, which also reminded me why I was so mad at them in the middle of Volume 5 because it sucked. And then you get to Volume 6, and I was like, wow, the show got good. And then you're in Volume 7, and I'm like, wow, this show's pretty. Like, it's amazing. So I love RWBY. I'm here. I've been reading a lot of Bumblebee fanfiction. Like, I'm right here, guys. I'm really in it right now. I even read, this will shock Dylan, White Rose fanfiction.
Wow.
Good. We got to talk about all the White Rose fanfiction. I've read
I know,
White
it's
Rose
amazing.
fanfiction. Yeah. Okay.
Because I was a big Ladybug shipper back in the day.
Yeah.
Which is never going to happen, but I was like super into Ladybug. Okay, so I really like this episode, even though I came downstairs and immediately told my fiance that they're a tease, because not them, the show. The show is a tease, not my fiance. That's a different discussion. So she's like doing things right now. We're not going to talk about it. Okay, so I was so mad. Like, I was like, why did you do this? Like, I was like, Bumblebee's happening. It's happening. So, I mean, they did do it. It was rude, but I mean, the episode is good. I agree. They talk to each other like normal people, which is shocking. I think it's mainly because Ironwood and Oscar weren't in this episode, so that helps like a lot. I mean, they were obviously there, but not really.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of, I don't know how I feel about like being like, look, Penny's back, and then we're gonna ruin her life immediately. And I'm like, can we please let her be happy? Like, y'all suck so much. But I do think legitimately this episode was really good. Especially for the kind of episode that it is. Like, we had episodes like this, like, you know, the whole turning point, dramatic, plot-turning episodes where everything starts to go wrong. That was a big deal in Volume 5 and Volume 6. And this episode is good. Like, that's the thing. RWBY struggles with episodes like these, like they have in the past. And this one's really good. Like, you're not like, why are we doing this? Or it's not clunky or clumsy, and I think that's really where the show, I mean, we were talking about the writers, obviously, like, everything's smooth, and because it always gets awkward when we show the villains because they suck. So,
How dare.
I know, this is really great. So I can't believe what did you say this was episode 7 or 6?
6.
Like, we're already halfway through, like, I can't really...
Yeah.
Believe it. So, but I did really enjoy this episode. I'm also not the biggest Nora Ren shipper. Because for me it's like inevitable. Obviously Bumblebee's inevitable, but I care because they're gay. But also because Blake and Yang are great. I just don't care. Like, we're in Volume 7 and I still don't really care about John and
Who?
Nora and Ren. Like, I care about Nora and Ren like a little bit, but like I just don't care.
Rewatching distance has not made Delaney's heart grow fonder for Ranger.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I will say in comparison to then, I do care more than I did about Nora and Ren. But because they've had some good moments, but I just
Okay. Well,
Ren isn't a character. That's what I
He's
wow,
not.
how dare. We'll break down the big Renora moments. We'll see.
Also, is Wooloo the she's got sheep ears? Is that what you're talking
calling
about?
her
Okay.
Wooloo, yeah.
Sure, her
That's not
name's
real
Fiona.
name.
For the record, her real name's Fiona.
No, her name's what?
Fiona.
Okay, yeah, I saw that for once I actually watched the concepts at the end. Okay, I was just checking that I understood who we were talking about.
You're stepping in mid-meme of all of
we'll
our...
see if Delaney understands the memes.
Yeah.
I know Jim, that's easy.
Okay, well, but you didn't mention Jim, though.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't
you're
know.
not really in on Jim yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's podcast policy.
Well, I hate Jim, so I'm just not going to talk about him
Okay,
anyway.
good. Big Jim episode. No, actually not.
Why don't we just call him Jerry?
That would be appropriate too. That's
It would.
Rick and Morty. Okay. Yeah, this episode's really good. I think it's the best episode this season. It's
Really?
I struggled initially because last night we got a tweet from Kirsty who wrote, one of the writers on the episode. She said, this one is super special to me, probably the thing I'm most proud of working in Volume 7. We all put so much in to make it what it is. And I'm like, okay, of course Bumblebee kiss is happening.
And we're like,
he's
we're
just
popping
so
the biggest
hard.
bottles. We popping the biggest
So
bottles.
we're talking about popping bottles. We're bringing out the bottles to pop.
In true that meme fashion, this happened.
Yeah, but whenever we mentioned we were bringing out the bottles, so it couldn't have happened. So no, that's not that's my initial reaction.
Now, guys, it's soda cans.
Okay, we'll be cracking open the soda
Is
cans.
Ren equivalent to Mako? I'd say that's pretty fair.
Jim is the
Oh,
Mako.
God.
Jim is the Mako.
Ooh, I'm like, ooh.
About what?
In general.
What are you ooh about? Okay.
Okay, one, we talked about Mako, but then I'm also like, ooh, who's worse? Now I have to decide.
They're both characters that were very bad to start with and got better. Okay, I think it's a very good comparison.
What? Mako?
Mako got better, yeah. We talked.
Mako got better by going away from everybody.
Mako got a lot better. Okay, but he's still Jim-like. Yeah. Once you get past the Bumblebee, it's like really she was this excited about Ren and Nora. I guess so. I guess.
I'm
like,
happy I didn't see that tweet.
Good. You avoided.
Yeah.
Allie is very excited about Ren and Nora, so some people really love it. I'm not that attached, but it was.
I'm shocked they kissed. That was a big shock.
Yeah, this is only the second actual romance moment in the history of the show, and it was good. This whole episode is just
Team Ranger anyway.
They're all in the Team Ranger. Yeah, all the kisses.
They're the only ones that can kiss.
They only get them. So rip Bumblebee, not happening.
Hopefully this becomes the kissing season.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
this is also like the biggest Bumblebee episode ever once again. So
Yeah.
we're like every
They said
episode
it out loud.
we're still like building up huge to Bumblebee, and I'm not like, so I was like earlier I'm like worried if like Bumblebee would even happen or we'd keep them like Ren and Nora, and now Ren and Nora are not Ren and Nora, and now they're explicit. So like, yeah, this is step one of Bumblebee, so I'm not worried at all. They're definitely kissing this season. I'm not worried.
100%. Yes.
Yeah,
They probably already did it in the dance club. We just didn't get to see it.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, hey, I'm hoping next episode is going to be that thing where they do where they're like, meanwhile, and so we get to see them like, because now they're
Same.
separated because
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I also hope I'm worried, but I hope that too. Yeah, so Bumblebee is happening. It's just a question of whether it'll be like the next 2 weeks when I'm gone, because it would happen then, or the finale.
It'll be okay, Dylan. I will sense you. Like I will feel your energy.
Okay, thank you.
I can always tell when Dylan's like flipping out.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm at peace if they put it off to the finale, if they keep putting it in every episode. Anyway, the episode's just really well constructed. It is, like Hayley said, it's like it works as one episode. Last week was like good, but it was like 4 different episodes in one. This week is like just a really good, solid unit. And then the problem is that it's based around like things going to crap with Tyrion and Watts like interfering, and I really don't like or care about those characters.
They suck.
Last season had interesting things happening and it was good. This season is good, but it has not interesting things happening. In my opinion, like this is going to vary a lot from person to person. I am not nearly as interested in the Robin Hill election or Tyrion and Watts hacking Atlas. So that's why I'm struggling more with this season. That being said, this episode was up to par with strict objective episode quality of season 6. It was up to par. But I just think we need to move in a better direction. We are at least moving fast. We had the election already, so maybe there's good things to come. I don't know.
I think this really, now that we're halfway through, I think they're really going to do, they're saving all the fights for the second half, which I'm fine with. Like, let's save all the excitement. Well, not fine with, but I mean, it's a choice. At least, I feel like there's a lot of fights waiting for us in the second half.
Yeah,
And I'm happy the
next
election
episode.
is over. Because I was concerned it was going to be like the finale, you know?
Yeah,
So happy. They're just like, the riot, we took care of that. The election, here we go. It's over in an hour.
Soon?
No, just
No,
get it done.
the politics-
No,
No.
I meant too soon in reference to a maybe real life election.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
now,
But I think the show politics are over now. Now it's just fighting. Like,
Yeah.
The politics.
the finale is we're launching the satellite, or maybe
Yeah.
it's before that.
yes.
No, we have to launch it before that, and then we have to fight on the satellite.
we
Yeah,
have,
no.
well, we have to
Yeah.
launch it, and they're making it an evil satellite.
Yes, we talked about this, Delaney.
It's
We've talked about
wait, is someone hacking the satellite, or is it just innately evil? The satellite.
I think it's going to be hacked, and then they're going to fight on it in
So
space.
it's going to be innately evil.
And it's just,
They're going to grim the satellite.
No, I 100% those flags at the end of last season are going to be there.
yes, whoever mentioned that is right, because why would you have flying monkeys unless they didn't fly up to a satellite? So
Where are they? They've been gone the whole season. They haven't showed up yet.
well, it's because
They're
it
waiting.
didn't make sense last season.
I finally understand flying monkeys. Oh my god, y'all been talking about that in the Discord, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Now I know.
And those like flying griffiny looking things.
Yeah, those things are coming next. I wish we wouldn't have to deal with the flying monkeys, but I wish none of us knew what that is.
I can't believe that it's like the dumbest looking grim in the world.
But
Right.
it has like a whole scene dedicated to it, to her making them.
Well, they're gone now, so
I mean, yeah, and they're never coming back. They
They're
died
going
off.
to space.
yes.
I mean, they are. Like, there's definitely
Okay.
Wait. Are we getting Ruby spacesuits? That's the important question.
Yes, we need to.
Yeah, Delaney, the season finale is like Star Train from Ladybug.
Oh
That's
my
what's going
god,
on.
I don't have that.
Okay. Let's
We're gonna take everyone to space by taking them into our semblance, into the petals, and then we're gonna see like all Team Ruby as petals
yeah,
going
I'm pretty
up.
sure that could happen. We have semblance movement this episode, but that'll be my last thing I talk about. I don't care. Let's talk Ren and Nora, and that'll relate to Bumblebee. So we get at the victory party, which was not a victory. We get Ren and Nora talking and arguing with Ruby's like exasperated and goes over to Penny, and who says who in this? So yeah, Allie transcribed this, so it's already done. Good, thank you, Allie. Blake and Yang are off doing their own thing again. At least they're back to
That's
being
Nora.
friends. Wait, Nora's first. Okay.
Yeah, Nora's first.
Friends, huh? Just friends, says Nora. What else? What?
I was like, yes.
That was like so pointed, and I loved it.
What
It was
else
so good.
would they be? Says Ren.
Oh, ho, ho.
Two people who've gone through that much. Maybe there's more going on. Well, maybe one of them feels that way, but the other might be worried.
It's so good. Like,
About what? It's just there's a lot of things going on right now. Well, how can they figure it out if they don't talk about it? Okay, so we get the Ren and Nora talking about Blake and Yang to talk about themselves, and Ruby's not having it. And
well, and Penny's like, what are we talking
Yeah.
about? Ruby's like, I don't know.
She's lost.
Ruby's just like, what's going on? I just want to be pure and like hang out with Penny.
I think the
Oh,
most
this episode convinced me that Ruby's gay for Robot, by the way.
Yeah, no, she totally
okay.
is.
Yeah.
Okay. Calm down. We'll talk about that. Back to
Renora first.
Ren and Nora, but actually Bumblebee, because this is
Yeah.
this conversation actually broke the wall on explicit Bumblebee mention, right? Like this is actually the first time
Shockingly.
we've mentioned Ren and Nora are the ones that actually broke the barrier on.
The fact that Nora pointed it out is like the most terrible and greatest thing.
Nora's the only one that understands. Yeah.
Yeah, because Nora's like, oh my god,
Well,
fine.
what also Weiss earlier also understands that.
Oh my god.
So,
Well,
Weiss
Weiss
was
like,
in
no.
such a mood when she just rolls her eyes like, I'm done, I'm going out.
She
Used
chose
to.
Jim.
Yeah, she chose
Yeah.
Jim over staying around there.
really,
Like,
really, this episode broke my heart. Like, Weiss, instead of going with Ruby to the party, goes with Jim, and then
I know.
and then the episode's all about Ruby and Penny. Like, at least,
No,
I
Why
was just
Rose?
thinking about how much like Weiss suffered so much.
going with Jim and Oscar.
Yeah, to the movie. Like poor. At least she didn't have to talk to them. But like
What
poor
a
Weiss.
strange
It-
group.
Yeah,
In
but
Weiss'
Jim
defense-
is definitely a movie talker, though. So.
Oh,
in Weiss-
absolutely.
yeah, no, he is. But in Weiss's defense, I think she didn't go to the Robin thing because I think they would hate her if she showed up.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's true. She's the
So
daughter
she really
of
can
the
either
opponent.
go with
So that's
the
a yeah.
gay couple
fair.
that are being super annoying right now, or Jim going to the movies. And I think she chose
I'd
the
still
better
rather-
option.
Either way,
I-
she was the third wheel. So
Yeah.
Jim and Oscar. Oh, interesting. Okay, no.
She has to give-
yeah, they
have
can
to have
go away
time,
forever.
Dylan.
They could just go off and together into the sunset. Yeah, so first of all, the explicit Bumblebee, but this episode's like way more explicit with Bumblebee than we've seen before. But also just Ren and Nora, and then later we get the Ren and Nora kiss as they're like, Ren's like, I'm not good at talking.
I
Nora's
have
like,
one-
let's kiss, and then the camera zooms around them, and the background blurs a very dramatic,
Great.
yeah,
I have one like nitpick.
with Ren and Nora.
Yeah, like
Okay.
obviously this has been building. I'm like not an idiot, but their argument is nonsensical. Like I would have, like I understand that there's a lot going on in the episode. That's why they were doing this, and it's also so they didn't have to have a conversation because boy, geez, the show can't write people talking. But like, it was just like this was such a
Delaney's
stupid. I am mad. Like, this was stupid. Like, they didn't talk about anything. I understand that was the point, but it was also like, why now? Like, this was terrible.
Imagine being with Ren though. That I feel like that would get exhausting.
That's fair. You're right. I accept it.
She's just like, let's just make out.
I think Delaney's point is like, there's no reason this kiss happened now. It's not like their conversation about Bumblebee was a good build-up. Like, it really just was inserted here.
Yeah, Nora was just done.
Which I will appreciate it as, and other shows have done this, where, you know, you juxtapose the obvious straight relationship with the gay relationship, because people have the straight goggles permanently affixed to their face, like Maria. Yeah. So, not that Maria doesn't have straight goggles, no, but that's what it's like. So Maria's definitely like.
I can't believe Maria's wearing the straight goggles. That's.
I know it's horrible, but she's not really. She's got she has rainbow vision, but.
Where is Maria right now, Delaney?
Right. Well, she's
hanging out with her mechanic boyfriend.
Yes. Or she's out there like murdering people. I don't know, honestly.
Who knows?
One of the two.
So that's just. So I appreciate the juxtaposition. We also saw that with Ruby and Penny in this episode. So I'm okay with that, especially because I didn't think the show was capable of such. So I'm really excited. Like this whole time I've been like Bumblebee, but there's also that fear that it's not going to happen. And because unfortunately, even if I'm like, this is explicit, and it is explicit, they, I've been burned before. We all have. So this is nice. Like, I'm glad they did this.
Yeah.
Only to step up Bumblebee, because I don't care about Renora at all.
Okay, well, we love. Some people love Renora, so it's cute
fine,
this episode, right?
But for me, I guess I'm glad that right here it doesn't make sense for Renora, only because there were like this could have happened at any time if they were going to do this. So if they're doing it now to kind of smush everybody together, that's fine.
I think it's a fair criticism that this wasn't like build up to, there's no reason this Renora kiss happened now, but I think their relationship is one that was structured so that this could happen literally whenever. Like, they're just together already.
Yeah,
so.
We're just waiting the whole time.
Yeah. Look, I love your point about using Renora to compare to Bumblebee and that being a queer affirming. This is, we talked a lot about this with Mysticons, a show the audience has never heard of, when they compared the female relationship to a straight relationship. They did this a lot on that show, and it actually is a very good queer representation tool because if you struggle to show things explicitly, or sometimes you can show things explicitly no matter what, and some people won't see it because it's
you have
gay
to hold their hand,
and they're not conditioned to see that. So if you just compare it directly to something they are conditioned to see as romantic, then it's a lot easier for people to see that. This episode, if anyone had still been watching RWBY and being like, Bumblebee's not romantic, which there's a ton of people before the season that said that. I don't know if they'd survived this many episodes, but if they have, this episode is the final straw because they compare it directly to Renora and Ren and Renora kiss in this episode.
Especially for RWBY. So I did the unfortunate thing of reading a comment on Rooster Teeth, because why would you do that?
You're on Rooster Teeth's website? Wow.
Yeah, I have the app. And so I was like, wow, I'm glad I did that to make myself boiling mad. But so I think it's not just the juxtaposition. They literally had Nora say it out loud. So this is great. Thank you.
Yeah. They needed to put it out exactly in they need to make it very explicit or no one's going to accept
other
it.
Than having Nora and a whiteboard being they're gay.
Yeah.
They could do
That's
that.
Effectively.
No, they might do it.
So
they'll
Nora
have to explain it to Jim. So
I think Jim just doesn't understand. Jim's two girls? What? That would be so funny if he did that, though.
Well, no, let's be fair. I think Jim understands that. Jim doesn't understand a lot, but I think he understands that. Because his sister's gay, remember?
Oh, that's true. He knows about the gays, yeah. Probably, you would hope.
No, he's going to be Saffron. I'll be
yeah. If he says that, oh my God.
That would be hilarious.
It would be the perfect Jim line, but also just so. Yeah, okay. And then talking about Bumblebee, other Bumblebee stuff in the beginning, because they're in their room and Blake's putting on makeup and Yang's smiling at her.
And I think she looks at her in the mirror. Oh, yeah, it was, I felt it.
Yep, I think so. And then like she comes over and Yang puts like her hand on the back of Blake's neck. And
so good.
then they're like, we're going Team Funky invited out us dancing, and they're going dancing, and
well, they're like they're annoying. I don't have to hear you. That was great.
And then Blake cracks up at Yang saying that. Yeah,
they're so cute.
So cute.
Yeah, they're on their dancing date. We didn't get to see it. Yeah, the first time I was watching this, I was just like,
Everyone
okay, when are we?
The nightclub fix? They're happening. They're
Yeah,
all
right. You have 1
releasing
week to
tonight.
write it before it's overwritten with the canon. But
It's already been.
I was, yeah, I think so. I was waiting for them to cut to their date the entire episode. So
Me
I didn't
too. I was
appreciate
like,
the
give it
first
to
time.
me. Give it.
I think
to
it's gonna
me.
be next episode because I don't know if we can mention what we know about it's in the trailer, right, Dylan? But I don't think we should talk about that.
I don't know. Is the name out? I didn't see it last time.
No. But there's a scene from the trailer that has Bumblebee and it has Yang and
it has
Blake
them
doing
fighting something.
Yeah, they're fighting.
It's
They're
not
fighting
is
together.
it the trailer or is it the intro?
It's in one of the trailers. They were fighting
Okay.
Robin.
Like a trailer for the volume.
Yes,
Yeah,
they were fighting Robin together at night. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to cut to them, and then we're going to see Robin fighting them for some reason.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
they
I think
run into them or something.
Yeah,
we're going to see Bumblebee dealing with the at the Grim.
Yeah.
The question is, are we cutting back in time to their date, and then we see the Grim interrupt the date,
I hope so.
or are we just cutting in current time to the Grim?
Like, I'm
already
okay. Okay, this is what's gonna happen, guys. They're gonna be holding each other, and we're gonna start yelling, and then the Grim are gonna attack. That's
yeah. No,
that's
I think we're
happen.
going to cut to current time, but they won't hear it right away because they're in a loud club.
That's true. That's true. We could do that.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Grim
so
come
maybe
in the
we
club.
have them
Oh my god!
kissing. And
This
then
show-
the music cuts, and then the Grim
Yes,
comes.
They're
and
going to be like
Exactly.
about to kiss.
No,
They're
this is
about
what's
to
gonna
kiss.
happen. They're in the club, and it's like oonts or whatever, and then we're gonna see the Grim, and it's just gonna be music and Grim. This is gonna be
Yeah.
great.
Well,
But they're
because they
supposed to be
make
like, it's
Yang.
like the yellow trailer.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
No,
Yang
that's-
purposely
that is-
said, like, "Oh, you can't hear anything."
exactly. That's what's gonna
Oh,
happen.
yeah,
They're not gonna be able to
yeah.
hear it. They're not
That's
gonna be able to
bad
hear the Grim
foreshadowing.
alarm.
Okay.
what could be-
Foreshadowing.
What could actually happen is we could have like a flirty
High
fight
five
where they were flirting and then the Grim showed up.
Amazing.
I'm
Yes.
telling you, they're gonna have like major like eyeing each other, dancing, and then we're gonna be like, and we're just gonna watch behind one of them. There's gonna be a Grim, and they're gonna be like, that's what's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Watch out. And yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Hey, Hayley, what are your overall Bumblebee thoughts after this episode? Like looking to the future or them in this episode?
I'm just so happy because it's like you guys are saying, like, it's been validated in the show and expressly talked about in the show in relation to another couple, which has been shown to just be like making out all of a sudden. So like it's so good because I didn't think that they were never gonna do it, but they've never
That
been
fear.
as explicit, like dialogue wise, you know? So it's really good to have that because it means that, okay, they know what they're doing. They're not just like putting
Right.
these teasers in and never going to do anything, you know?
They've
so
been torturing
that's
us
happy
with
to
them
see
in the
this.
background.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like, ugh, like that's getting old, you know? But now it's like, okay, Nora said they're together, basically, you know? Like the characters are aware that this is happening, so it is canon in the show now that it's happening, and it's not just us.
Like Weiss was like, "Oh my god, I have to leave right now."
Yeah, exactly. We're not, and I don't think we've ever been like reading into things, but you can always, people who don't want to see it can be like, oh, they're just good friends, you know?
Well, but there's always that. Well, there's always
Gal
that.
pal.
There's always
Yeah, they're
that
gal
fear.
pals.
Well, there's
Right.
always that fear, and in this legitimate case, like up until now, I think the fear of being queer baited was real.
Yeah, but now
Yeah.
Nora's like, what do you mean? Yeah, like they're more than friends, you know? So
Yeah.
that was really good to have that validated. And I feel like it would make sense for how we see it. That next episode, they're like in the club, and then we go to the Grim. But who knows? But I was confident going into this season that we were going to have them together by the end of the season. Now I'm like 100% confident.
Yeah,
that
same.
it happened.
Yeah, the question I guess is like when, right?
Yeah.
It's not next episode, I guess, even though it could
I
be
don't know.
if you flash
But-
back, it could have happened already during this.
If you flash back, it could be. And yeah, and like as far as I can remember, every episode this season has had some Bumblebee element. Like
Yes,
that's
Yeah, in the
no,
background.
the show has never built up to something as much
No,
as they are building up
that's
to
a more
the.
consistent storyline
I-
than the five
I hope
other
so.
that are happening right now.
Which makes sense because Miles and Kara were like, Kurosami wasn't built up enough, so this is their version of it. Okay.
Yeah,
You're right.
Right? It's exactly what they're doing. They're like, we have to build this up a lot. I mean, to our benefit because we get more Bumblebees.
I'm not going to complain. I'm not like they can talk trash all they want. I'm not going to complain because when it happens, my soul is going to leave my body.
This is going to be amazing.
And I'm going to become Guru Bumblebee.
Oh no!
Bringing it back.
Good. That's good.
I'm not though.
You're
Tumblr's
not bringing
dead.
it back. No one knows what you're talking about. But I think this will be right before the finale. I think this is like an episode 10 type.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
I think it'll happen for the final fight.
Is this episode 6 or 7?
This is 6. So I think it's not too far away. I think it's like right before the final fight. I think that's what I would do.
Do we know how many episodes there are this season, or are they
we don't know yet. We're due for a blog post with that type of thing.
Okay.
And were there 10 last season?
There were 13, I think.
13, right.
Yeah,
so
it's about that. They're 12 to 14 or something.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So Bumblebee to come soonish, right? Like
yes.
Latest. Well, if it doesn't happen
arrival
this season,
imminent.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we're excited. And then Ren and Nora. Who's the Hayley? You thought what do you think of their kiss?
I thought it was good. I don't know. I've had a lot of trouble keeping track of their relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So has Nora.
Right. So it's like, is this the first time they've kissed? Because I thought they've been like together, I guess, for a season, but then I thought they weren't anymore, and I thought they were back to being siblings. So I'm not the biggest Ren Nora shipper, but I think they're cute together. I think it's inoffensive. So yeah, I'm happy for them. Good for them.
Yeah, Sarah.
Maybe this is how they express themselves to each other. They don't talk. They just are very physical. That's
at least what Ren does.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Sarah, any other Ren Nora thoughts?
I mean, no. Okay. I mean, I care about Nora for reasons I've talked about on the podcast before, but we didn't go there.
Not the audience for this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Nora, we needed that. Yeah, Allie loves Nora, and Ren. It was good. It was great. Obviously, it's good. Nora had to initiate the kiss, and why didn't she just do this forever ago? But
it was cute.
Good. It's good they finally did it.
Also, it was like a full kiss. We get a panoramic. It
was dramatic.
They're going full out.
Good signs for the eventual Bumblebee kiss. This kiss was very pretty. So,
but they're setting the bar.
Yeah. It has to be way better, way longer too.
This just feels like, this just feels like, when Ron and Hermione got together. It's just inevitable. And I'm glad it happened. I don't think it had as much of the impact that, it had that happened in Deathly Hallows, but they're cute and I'm fine with it.
I like that comparison. Also, Delaney's back because there's a Harry Potter reference.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, I've been complaining, I think, recently that Ren and Nora haven't been shown explicitly, so I think this is actively good for the show. And the show doing explicit romance is very good for it.
And they did the whole what's her name? I can't remember her name. She trash talked Nora in the beginning of the season.
She trash talked Nora.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, what about Ren?" Blah 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 blah.
Oh, Funky.
Yeah, I don't remember her specific name.
Nyan Cat.
Yeah, Nyan Cat. Her name's Neon Cat.
Neon. That makes more sense.
It's like a 4-year-old meme or more.
But
I don't know her name.
Doing it again. Yeah, okay,
I think it's
she said that. They built up. That was last episode. Yeah, they built up. Okay. Ren and Nora was good. Bumblebee's good, and then I guess there's other parts of the episode. No, the election. We get the Robins winning, and then we get the background shots of the numbers changing. And
that was good. I thought that was good.
I don't know. This gave me flashbacks to real life, and it made me.
This was very anxiety inducing.
Yeah, no, Dylan.
Not good,
also, it's because
Yeah.
Well, we knew in real life too at some point.
Yeah, and then Jax wins at the end. So there's no sign in there was no evidence in the show that there was tampering, I guess.
Well, no, there was. No, Watts changed it when he turned everything off.
All the colors changed.
Yeah.
Well, Watts controlled the lights. You said Watts was controlling the numbers.
No, he had he had districts, and he changed the color of a bunch of districts when all the power went out.
Yeah, it looked like. I think it went by really fast, but not only he turned everything off, and so people were distracted, they wouldn't notice that he rigged all the votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I mean, okay, that's it's interesting because that's not the primary thing that's presented
Right.
with Watts and Tyrion is like framing Penny and Ironwood further is like what the episode presents as their primary thing. But I guess he's also doing that. Yeah, Watts with his like orchestra of iPhones, and he's
Right.
like
God.
just
He
like
gets
running his
me over
fingers
every time I
over.
see it.
This is like up there in like all-time TV show hacking presentations of like unrealistic hacking is like Watts of just like
Why
throwing
does
his
he need all
fingers.
those scrolls? He just like he's in, obviously.
I mean,
You only need one computer.
It's
you,
so dumb.
you son of a I'm in that type of in. No, he only need one computer, right?
It was just the visual, I guess. It was so dumb.
oh, it was so good.
I don't know if it was good or
So
bad. But
funny.
it was.
It was awful, and I loved it.
I
Okay,
do appreciate this, like, I think they're doing a really good job of, when you, in volume 3 and 4, watching the fall of Beacon and Cinder and then manipulate everything, this, I think, is more interesting because of how they're playing it, because it's very similar, but not only are they making them win, they're also continuing to torture everyone. Like, I really like the whole, they rigged the election, but then they also, Penny is now framed for this attack. Because I didn't notice this until really I got to sit down and digest the episode a little bit, was Tyrion wasn't poisoning people. He was just using his tail to break their aura and then like slash them with, because it's to make it look like Penny's knives.
Yeah.
So I think that like this is really interesting. And as much as I think Tyrion and Watts are annoying, like I think they're really like I think this is working better than the Fall of Beacon. The Fall of Beacon works because it's so devastating. But this, I think they're really playing up the long game a lot, and I'm enjoying it.
I just think they're really leaning heavily into like piggybacking off of our real life knowledge of our world, and it just really, really makes me uncomfortable. I'm just like, I don't know. I couldn't watch some of that, like the numbers going down. I'm like, I know what you're doing, and I hate this.
What is Watts Russia? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, Watts is Russia and Jacques is Trump. Like that's very obvious. And Robin is clearly Hillary. Like that's the whole point of all of this.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's interesting they put the election so soon. So I think it's more important that Robin is turned against Team RWBY and Associates than, that she loses like whatever. Last week I was like, how many seats does the council have? So thank you people who provided the receipts. There are at least 2 seats because, that's all we know. Ironwood has 2 seats. And this is the 3rd seat, and that's all the people were able to tell me. So thank you.
And I guess there's no king or like prime minister. So
presumably,
There you go.
I mean, basically
council?
Ironwood is, but
we were.
He's also on the council.
He's
right?
on the council and maybe has a controlling share because of that or something. But whatever.
well, because he's the headmaster of Atlas. He's in charge of the military.
Yeah. So, I think like this episode presents like Robin's interactions with RWBY and Penny and Marrow, and then Robin's happy huntresses. Like I think that's really interesting. And then Robin's like upset at them at the end, and this plays off of last episode well and the stuff with Robin and RWBY there.
It was upsetting that Ruby's like, it was Tyrion, and then she's like, I'm glaring at you, and I'm like, she
doesn't know who Tyrion is, RWBY.
I know.
Shut up.
Like I understand that, but it's also like this is annoying.
RWBY, you should have just yelled, it was the Scorpion Faunus.
But no one's seen him anyway. But it was a Scorpion Faunus. I saw him, I swear, yeah.
I swear.
He's a cool tail. You gotta look for him, yeah. So that's an interesting aspect, and then Tyrion's in there and he's slashing at people. The way they did that with the lights out and him doing that, and it wasn't even that long. I thought that was all just really well done.
Because it was less Tyrion than we were
build
expecting.
up to it, and like the height of it, and
If Penny wasn't gay, she would have stopped it earlier.
Yep.
Penny and RWBY were distracted, smiling at each other.
And Penny spends literally like a solid 30 seconds night vision staring at RWBY.
Yep, making sure RWBY is safe.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So,
useless lesbians.
Okay. You're just trying to bait me to talk about this.
Of course I am.
Why wouldn't we?
Anyway, final point, like I think the big downside to this, maybe I don't know if you guys agree. Like I just think this isn't like super interesting to me. Is like what the result, the events of what's happening here.
I agree. I think it's interesting how they're doing it, but like we know this isn't really going to matter.
Yeah.
At the end, so I think that's really like we've seen this before. They literally did this. Like, this is the fall of Beacon all over again. We're doing the fall of Atlas. So this is really, I mean, it's understandable. Like, I mean, I think, and the thing is, the election doesn't matter. It never mattered. So that's, I think,
Yeah,
the
I think
really
that was a good
uninteresting
execution.
part about it.
I like. There's one scene with Ruby, Nora, and Ren talking about Salem, like before the party. I liked including that, like framing it around like
and Ren was like, "We need to be training like this doesn't," because I think that's something really. It's kind of like, you know, all these stupid issues going on right now, and like 2040, we have climate disaster about to hit us. So it's very similar. Like, we have, you know, why do we care about this when Salem is about to ruin the planet? Granted, we're doing this, and they're very interwoven because literally it's Watts and Tyrion, which they didn't know until just now. So I think that's fair. Like, and I think they're kind of doing a good job of making you mad about it, because it's like, this doesn't matter because we have to fight Salem. So I think they're doing a good job of, like, I think you're supposed to be irritated about it.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely supposed to feel irritated about all of this. And I think it's really impressive that, or not impressive, it's a good choice to make this, like, really dumb plot episode that doesn't matter, like you said, into, like, a character episode. Like, we care about these characters watching this more than anything else.
Yeah, it's centered around characters more, and the Robin stuff is good. And yeah, I think this is, like, by far the best way to execute on this.
And we don't care about Atlas. Like,
yeah. I care about the satellite.
Yeah, I mean, we get a little bit at the beginning with, like, hey, Hayley's but we'll see what Beatrice has to say about all this. We Ironwood, like, and is Ironwood going to work with Robin? That we had some stuff with that in the beginning. I think we care about all of this. We're supposed to care about all of this a little bit, I guess, but not, I don't know, a lot, but, interested to see where this is going next. People distrusting Ruby and Ironwood. I think that's interesting. Like, and more of Robin, because I do think Robin's stuff was interesting. Get that in a second. Okay, Ruby and Penny. Last two topics, Ruby and Penny, and then Robin. So yeah, Ruby and they're smiling at each other a lot, and Ruby, like, blew raspberry, and Penny was laughing, and we talked about this last week. It was basically like Hayley and Sarah, like, this is romantic feelings on Ruby's side. Delaney, I always said I thought Ruby was not into Penny romantically, but Penny was, like, had intense feelings about Ruby that, like, she doesn't have the context to process as romantic. What say you about the state of Ruby and Penny's feelings for each other?
I think it's true for both of them. Like, I think they're both, like, Ruby, I mean, she's grown a lot, and, you know, as, like, a person and socially, but she's, you know, she's the youngest character, and Ruby just cares about fighting. And I think, you know, there's that disconnect, and it's not necessarily like, it's not like it's something she necessarily has to figure out, but, you know, she, you know, both her and Penny are kind of at the same place of, like, I don't know if I like people. I don't know if I'm into people. So I think it might be both of them trying to figure stuff out. And I like what they're doing. Like, there was more juxtaposition. Like, we cut from, like, them talking about Blake and Yang and them kissing to Ruby and Penny.
Yeah.
So, and they're looking at each other. So it's not just them, like, oh, here's Ruby, then here's Penny. No, they're, like, staring at each other. So that's another big thing. So I honestly think you're both right. Like, I think they're both, like, I think that's why they get along so well. Like, they're just really want to be heroes. They want to be huntresses. And Ruby is presented as being the more, you know, quote unquote aware of the two, but they're both kind of in the same boat.
Yeah. Any nuts and bolts highlights, Sarah Hayley, from the episode?
Is that who Nuts and Bolts are?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that was their ship name.
It's
I'm
a
trying
good
to figure
ship
this
name.
out. It is a good ship name.
Okay. Yeah. Any other nuts and bolts comments?
I just really like them. I really, like you said, I love that Penny looks at Ruby first. Like, because that's like that's not like, that's a subconscious thing you do. You look to the people that you care about most first. Like, there's no really way to control that when there's, like, chaos like this. And I really like that they had that explicitly happen for Penny. And I just really like it. And I really love the fist bump moment. Like, that was just really cute.
Oh yeah. The thing with the,
they're just really, really cute together.
Yeah, I loved them this episode. I always love Ruby and Penny interacting, and they're great together. I still don't interpret it romantically. Like, I still think that's not what they're doing. But I will say the Bumblebee definitely happening means I think Red Rose can't happen. I was thinking about this. Like, there's no way Miles and Carrie allow their show to have 4 main characters and they're in couples together. So I just feel like they're not doing that. Like they're not fun enough to do that. So
I also I'm more and more. I'm like I don't know if I was ever entirely on a romantic angle of Nuts and Bolts. There was a cute moment last week though, but I definitely am reading it more as like really good friends and like partners in that way. I
mean, I think like the difference to be, well, I think we're all kind of saying the same thing because Ruby and Penny are not people that have shown any romantic inclination. So it's like we're interpreting their interactions as through our lens of like seeing things romantically, and they don't really have that for themselves at this point. So like I don't know if either of them are harboring like crushes. Like it's more just like this is how we're reading their feelings or something. Yeah. Like I don't know if Ruby's like thinking about her crush on Penny at night. I feel like, I don't know if any of you guys disagree with that, but like, I feel like it's just like how we're interpreting their feelings for each other.
Also, I feel like they're purposefully keeping Ruby and Weiss apart to keep us from associating White Rose and Bumblebee. Yeah. Because it's really difficult based on previous things and like, and everything we've been doing with Weiss this season has been them together as a team. So I think they are really trying to keep, because I think it'd be really hard based on how they interact with each other for us not to be like, well, obviously White Rose is happening too. So I think it might be purposeful, though. I mean, my greatest fear is Jim and Weiss, but
that will not happen.
No, that's
Volume 6 was sketchy. Okay, it was sketchy,
and now they've gone on a movie date.
If Jim gets with any of Team RWBY,
but I am. So I don't know. I don't think White Rose is necessarily super duper out of the question.
I do think White Rose is possible. Like, I think it's, but right now it's just hard to say because they're really choosing to like make White Rose like really clearly just friendship, and I think they've been bad at it in past seasons, like because they've made White Rose friendship and Bumblebee quote unquote friendship look really similar, and I'm glad they've gone out of their way to really make it clear, like, no, this is a different relationship they have. They don't spend all their waking hours together like Bumblebee do.
Yeah, I'm not so sure they're like completely disassociating them because we have had White Rose moments this season. So I'm not sure what the show is intending to do yet.
Well, I feel like every single time we see like they're together. Like,
sometimes they're together, sometimes they're not together, but it is not like Bumblebee. Yeah,
we're also suffering like RWBY has a lot of characters.
I mean, yeah,
like a lot. And Voltron suffered from this as well. So
okay.
But
okay, we don't know that means we're towards the end when Delaney mentions Voltron.
I have things to say, but we have to get through Robin first.
Okay, yeah, Robin. It's she like is like we all have to get along if I'm elected, and so like you guys can stay and be security. And then she gives her speech, and it seems like she's. Like, we're like, oh, is Robin supposed to come across sympathetically? Like, yeah, she's, like, talking about how she wants everyone to be equal, and she loves her team and stuff, and, like, she's suspicious of Team RWBY at the end, but it's, like, clearly, like, doesn't have all the information.
And justified, too. Like, the only interaction they've had with her is, like, a confrontation one.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think Robin comes across really well this episode. I think she's an interesting enough character. I'm not sure she's, done too much in depth yet. Like, I don't know if we have too much depth for Robin at the moment.
I don't really have any like, thoughts about her.
Yeah.
But like, I want to know her backstory.
Oh yeah, Fiona, and that's true. Where did Robin come from? She's running for. She's probably presumably been an activist before this, and now she's running. Yeah. But like, we'd like to know more about this. And yeah, Fiona like gives the Wooloo gives this like for Wooloo like testing them makes like adorable, and then she's like. Introducing her, and then like she comes up and they're like face to face.
They're like an inch apart.
Are they like together, or does like Wooloo just have like a big crush on her?
I think they're together.
I don't know if they're together or if she's with the other one.
I was waiting for you to like figure out we don't know their names really.
No, we do. I know their names, Dylan.
Well, we know their names from the credits, right? Did they say it in the show? Or
they don't
because I don't know them.
Dylan, I know because I've been spending. I had to like spend a lot of time to figure this out because I have things to talk about with them.
Well,
but it took a lot
the fact that you had to figure it out, I think, is proving the point. But yeah, it's. We had two of them that were prominent, I guess, this episode, other than Woo.
The only two we've seen. There's the only other two huntresses we've seen in the
May is the one that talks more, and then there's the other one.
Joanna's the more butchish one.
And she talks like once, yeah.
They did say their names.
And Robin are together.
Which one?
Joanna?
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
The butch one.
But why is it, so you just Lulu as like a unrequited crush? Like, that's not, yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's, I mean, I think she like, I don't know, I'm not trying to like ruin it. I'm just like, I think she's just like starstruck. Like, I really believe in you. I just really ship the butch one, okay, I guess.
Be fair. If anyone would have a poly relationship, I think it would be Robin.
Is like, Robin just with all of her happy
actually, I think that's true.
It is 100% possible.
Yeah, Sarah, what about the other happy episodes?
Okay. So, May and Joanna, in last week's episode, I talked about how Joanna was really butch and it looked like she might be like pre-transition trans woman. But in the credits of the show, actually, May, the other woman, is voiced by a trans woman. Kaden Jensen, an employee at Rooster Teeth, obviously. And the other woman, Joanna, is actually voiced by a cis woman. And so I hope they don't just have this be it. Like, I hope they talk about it because it feels like something they should do, especially if her voice actress is a trans woman. Like, it just feels not strange. I don't want to say strange, but it feels like, because in this room, I just want to point out, like, in this room, in this one, like, assembly room, we have Nora, who a lot of people suspect is trans based on the way that people are talking on the crew and the way her outfit looks. And then we have Penny, whose entire identity is, am I a real girl or not? And then we have this trans woman and we have these, like, other women here. It's like, it feels like this is important. And I'm really surprised we didn't talk about it at some point during this episode. Like, all these people here together.
I mean, I don't know if it's like surprising that RWBY wouldn't talk like this show, you know?
No.
I'm
just saying, like, they're taking the effort to like make
the themes are there,
the lesbians explicit, and it's obvious that like they're not taking the same steps for the trans stuff. And I'm not saying like I'm in the mean way. I'm saying it's like they're usually a step behind with that, especially because Kiersey and all the others. There's a lesbian on the team, but there isn't like a trans woman on the team or a trans man on the team, and that's not. I'm not saying that's bad or whatever. I'm just saying like. You push for your own thing more. Like, that's just how we are. Like, that's how humans are. We're programmed that way. We want to see ourselves in media. And that worries me, because it feels like we have a lot of these little sprinkles throughout this season so far, but we're never going to, like, really explicitly talk about it, which will frustrate me.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll talk about it either.
Well, I could see RWBY, like... So, the fact that, I mean, I started flipping out in Volume 6 about Saffron.
Yes.
Because I never would have expected that from RWBY.
Yeah.
Like, I've been watching RWBY since the beginning. Like, this was a shock. Like, I stopped off a little bit in the middle, but, like, literally from when the show began. And this is a big deal. And I think what I would see RWBY doing, especially because of, like, this show hasn't done anything from what we've seen yet about there being homophobia.
Yes.
I mean, I think Jacques is going to say something rude at some point. Like, I thought he was going to say something when they were all holding hands. But, granted, Blake is also a fauna, so he's probably going to say that first because he sucks. So my thing is, I think I could see them just making a comment, saying one thing, or, like, there could just be some indicator that one or a couple of the characters are trans. And I think that would be great. I'm not confident they'll do it with Nora because, like we were talking about, like, I don't have too much confidence that we're just going to have, like, the rainbow because...
No, but have I talked about the evidence? Like, we don't have to get into it all now, but in previous podcasts, I've gone into it, Delaney.
No,
like,
you've talked to me about it. I've read it in the Discord, and I agree. It's just, like, I think they're really just, like, what I see RWBY doing based on how they're doing Bumblebee is they're just going to say something, like, or... Yeah.
But the thing is,
right now it's hard because these characters aren't anything. Like they're hard characters.
But a big thing for like trans rep in general is that like we find out like at the end we find out like I get that with gay stuff, like people don't kiss until the end, like queer baiting and stuff. But with like trans peeps, like it's just like you can easily hide it forever. Like you could just not mention, because like the point of being trans, like I just want to be a woman, like that's it. Like I just want to be included, and it's just like not really a part of my identity. Like trans isn't really like part of my identity that I want to be part of my identity. And that's just the hard part of representing it. Like, it's a very fine line. Like, you have to show that they're women or men or non-binary without like explicitly making it the transition part their full identity. And it's just like a really hard thing to do. And I think they might just avoid talking or saying specific things because it's easier. And I get why, because it's just a lot harder than just having like two women kiss each other. Not that that hasn't been a hard fight to get that in.
That also hasn't happened, but
no. But I'm just saying, like, it's a much more like, it's gender is a much more nuanced like discussion, because it's not just
and like with this show, it's like nuance. You know,
I
like
don't know if they can do it. It's just
like, well,
like,
they go do it.
That's more of it's just a really confusing emotion I have towards it, because it's like I want them to do it, but I also like, can they even do it though? Like, I've watched like an anime this year that came out, is still airing, and they had like a whole episode dedicated to it, and it took a full 24-minute episode for them to explain the nuance of being trans in general. Like, and that just, and I don't think
it's not going to happen on RWBY.
No, it's not going to happen in RWBY. And like,
I literally think like if it happens, they're going to say one thing and like they'll be like, cool.
Yeah.
Would you? I feel like that it would just be like, would you take that, Sarah?
Like with RWBY, I just want them to acknowledge it and move on. Like for this kind of show. Other shows, I want different things, but for RWBY, it's like, I don't have faith you guys can do like a real nuanced discussion here. So just be like, yeah, I'm trans, and then move on, and that's good.
Like, I think that's the only thing this show is capable of.
But, and again, I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just saying, like, this isn't the show for it. Like,
the show just focuses on other things.
Yeah,
but like, it's also, this is also like a hyper-futuristic society where like they just don't like. Penny's a robot. Like, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be a problem. Like, yeah, exactly. So like, and obviously that doesn't mean it's not an issue, but like the only like quote unquote societal issues we see in RWBY are between the faunists and humans. So, because I mean, we haven't presented any homophobia. I'm not complaining. RWBY is not the show for social commentary.
Please.
If we just get representation, I'm cool with it. Yeah. So I do legitimately think if they do it, and I'm just not confident that the Happy Huntresses are going to be like a thing.
No, so, I think they're on next season, and that's why I'm kind of annoyed if this is where we get it. But like, again, we got it with Saffron first, got it with Ilya first. Like, I get it. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, in general, interested to see how much of the Happy Huntresses we see more of, because like we saw the spider people last night, they disappeared, and then so like I think there'll be more.
Like, honestly, I think it's a big deal that like we've established that they're all women, like at the very least females presenting, and like
that's what matters.
She's butch.
Yeah,
like butch. So,
I would just love a backstory.
Yes.
Episode segment.
And I'm a little.
They just appeared, you know.
Yeah. Like exactly, and I'm a little biased as a sophomore.
And so am I.
So.
Well, hopefully we see more from May. And she talked a few times this episode.
Also, I just want to say that her voice actress is very good, and I'm very impressed with the work she's put into it. That takes a lot of work to get your voice to sound like that. Like, it is not easy. There's a reason I talk like this still, because it's just a lot of work.
Like May was. Yeah, I thought we saw from May was. Did she talk last episode too? I think it was.
She might have had one line, but
damn.
Anyway, so her and Wooloo, big. Hopefully, more Happy Huntresses. Okay. Well, a lot of the Huntresses talk, so I hope they actually are relevant to come.
Well, yeah, I hope I hope so too. That was the point of the discussion.
It might be it, so we had to get it out of the way, right? Like, it might be, no, I think it'll be
never see them again.
They'll fight.
They'll fight somebody. Episode,
so.
They might die though.
We just have to have we're gonna have to have a discussion in their little hideout where RWBY and them are like, no, we're not the bad guys, and they're gonna have a talk, and then Crow's gonna show up, and say something annoying. And he's going to cause a problem, and then
Crow's good now.
Crow's been really good.
Are you on fair game here? Are you on? For
I don't know what you're talking about. Crow wasn't in this episode.
But Clover, Delaney, are you in for it?
Oh yeah,
good.
Okay. We'll get Delaney's further thoughts. Anyway, there's other stuff this episode, but whatever. I like Weiss's like a chuckle in the beginning. I loved that.
That was good. I agree.
Jim is working on his aura recovery. I don't care. And whatever.
Oscar doesn't have an aura or
we were reminded of that, which means that's coming.
And then
that was the thing in like 5.
Can split. Okay.
Oh yeah, RWBY can like split through things.
I like that. She's like, I actually thought about what I was doing this time. Like, come on, RWBY.
We know, honey. You don't think it's okay?
Yeah, like you never thought to do that before.
But then Penny flies back to Atlas, and there's Grimm coming. Okay, Haley, what are
Did
your
she
final
fly to
thoughts on-
Atlas? I think she just ran away.
She could just run away somewhere.
No,
Yeah,
I think she
that's
was
true.
going to help, like,
Fight the
fight
Grimm.
Grimm.
Okay.
Because she
She
flew
flew
away,
off.
and
She
then they're
flew
like,
off.
"Oh, the Grimm." Because you heard them.
We'll see where Penny went. Haley, final thoughts on A Night Off.
Yeah, like I said before, I think it was good. I'm happy, like, stuff is happening, and there's some consequence to actions, and that the council election is finally over, because I was worried that was going to drag a lot longer.
Yeah.
Overall, very happy with this episode. It definitely gave me last season vibes, where I was just finished the episode and was like, that was good and coherent and a complete episode. It wasn't like
Coherent is a lot to ask for Ruby.
It is,
Right?
though.
No, but I think particularly, like, it stands out because it's not an episode that you need to watch in relation to other episodes. Like, this is an episode that is good in its time slot, and that's great. And I want more of that. So, yeah, no,
Nice.
happy about it. I'm excited to
I-
see what comes from this, too.
Excited for the Bumblebee next week.
Yes, definitely.
They're fighting at least. Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah, final thoughts.
I mean, I think the thoughts I had earlier were kind of my final thoughts. Just wanted to get that out there. Like, there's not like this episode's really simple in terms of just like they're in their room and then they're at the rally, and that's kind of like the whole episode. There's not like a ton happening, and that's fine. I am totally Ruby and Weiss though. Like, I'm totally the friend that's just like, I don't want to be involved in like whatever bickering or like flirting you're having. I just want to like ignore it and do my own thing.
So you as well would go to the movies with Jim.
Yes, I would definitely choose to go to the movie with Jim instead of being the third wheel to whatever Yang and Blake are doing. Just because
Sad.
I can just not.
Sad. Could have hang out with Neon Cat and stuff. That'd have been exciting.
Okay, that's also a reason I wouldn't go with Blake and Yang. Because I know I'm the type of person that Team Funky would just be like, they would tease me all night just because I'm such I just can't dance or don't want to dance.
Team Funky's probably very accepting of.
No, they're
dancing
definitely
skills.
accepting, but they would like playfully want me to dance all night, and I just could not do it.
They
I
accept all types of dancers. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. They could.
We didn't talk about them dancing.
Yeah, that was
dancing
cute.
together, Blake and Yang. Yang and Yang.
Yeah.
That was so cute.
It was very cute.
Yes.
Also,
We
I don't
need
know
to see
what
more
dance
of
move they're doing, but okay.
They're dancing. Yeah, that's all I wrote down. Okay.
They're
Maybe
doing like
they
the hot
do
new.
next episode. That'd be incredible if we do one of those again.
Start with them dancing. Delaney, final thoughts.
I think the big takeaway from this episode is like what Haley was saying, that this is a really well put together, it's standalone episode, which I think Ruby sometimes struggles with, like standalone episodes. So I really enjoyed it, and obviously I'm mainly here from Bumblebee, but I really did enjoy this episode, and I think I am excited to see what happens. Like, we're setting a lot up, and I'm curious what all we're going to accomplish in the episodes we have remaining.
Yeah. Half the season left. I already got to a lot we didn't think we'd get to for a while, so it's going to be exciting. Yeah, mainly excited for the direction of Bumblebee, but a lot of other interesting stuff. The satellite, we'll see. We'll get a check back on the satellite. Haley's
Classic.
satellite corner coming.
I keep forgetting
Is it a
about
classic?
Satellite,
Okay,
and then I'm
we'll
like,
talk about. We'll see.
Who
more-
knows?
More satellite discussion to come. Okay, next week we'll be back for episode 7. I'm going to be away the next 3 weeks. There's probably not going to be RWBY one of the 2
Probably,
left
but
weeks left
maybe
in December, but maybe, who really knows. So Beatrice will be hosting. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
That means Bumblebee's happening, because Delaney's back, Beatrice is hosting, I'm gone. Like, I think that means
I'm gonna
Bumblebee.
start
Beatrice.
yelling.
Like,
Beatrice
I'm not allowed to get Bumblebee. Like, it's
No.
not.
You have to suffer.
It's not
I
allowed.
might be away
Suffer,
for a
yeah.
couple too, and of
Okay.
course it's gonna be the one where you and I both are on it, Dylan, and
That's the
Bumblebee's
Bumblebee
going
one.
to
And the
happen.
podcast is just gonna be me and Beatrice screaming the entire
Yes.
podcast.
Okay, if Bumblebee happens and it's just me, the lady, and Beatrice, I might actually be like, you guys can just do it alone and just
Yeah,
scream
that's
by
the.
We need
that's
to,
the
like,
you
call
going
in
off
or
with Jim to the movies. Yeah. Okay.
Oh man.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll Skype us in. Okay, so.
Yeah.
But actually, we Skype, so that's not really.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah,
so,
do a voice memo.
Voice memo is okay. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Overlyanimated.com, youtube.com/overlyanimated. Come talk about this on our Discord at overlyanimated.com/discord. Join us or support us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to all current patrons, especially our patron podcast Shin, aka Shinjeki no Kyojin, and thanks as always to our patron executive producers Ryan Steelex, features you Michael and Needle. More RWBY coming up. Also, Steven Universe Future premiering tonight, and other interesting stuff as well at overlyanimated.com. I don't know, is there other stuff? The Rick and Morty. There you go.
Yeah,
Those are the three things. Those are the three things. So exciting, a lot happening this December. So subscribe to us, not miss any of it. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.